merely entering a typical suburban Catholic parish is emasculating, from the architecture to the music to the felt banners to the limp homily to the army of elderly female Eucharistic ministers. What red-blooded male would be interested in that if he did not already have a faith strong enough to see beyond it to the underlying reality? And I think that's something we don't, people who go to Mass every week, faithful Catholics, they don't recognize, they can't see outside of it. They can't take a step back.
They've been going to that Mass probably for 15 years. Everything has become invisible. It's like when you're in your own kitchen, you know, you don't notice the chip tile on the backsplash and you don't notice the stain on the wood. And these things just disappear to you, right? But when a 22-year-old walks in there for the first time, he gets the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. And that's why, on the flip side, why you hear so many stories of Catholics who have done that, who grow up in those parishes and live in those parishes, when they go to their first traditional Latin Mass parish, they're shocked.
Yeah.
Because all the things that they stopped noticing are now thrown to the fore because they're all missing at the traditional Latin Mass parish. I'm talking about the parish that has its own church and can decorate however they want and do whatever they want with it. And that's why it's so shocking, because they have just grown accustomed to it. And things like the army of women who come up as the extraordinary ministers, the felt banners, the just kind of the music, which is just so, I mean, it's like, people will kind of say it's like Simon and Garfunkel. That's insulting Simon and Garfunkel. I mean, it's not even that good. I give. And it's just so, it's so effeminate. I mean, so in the way I mean of just not virtuous, not masculine, not brave, and all those different adjectives you can use, it just misses all of that. And people who have been going there for 15 years and they're doing their darndest as a youth minister, for example, don't realize all the subconscious signals that are being sent. Men go away, men go away.
Yeah.
And so what happens is the men go away. And when they go away, maybe their wife still tries to, the wife who's not as naturally turned off by these signals, she continues to go, and so she brings her kids, but her kids end up falling away because the dad fell away.
Yeah.
And it's a tragedy. And I know I saw, when I said this, a number of women, Catholic women, good Catholic women, were like, you know, those men just need to man up. I'm going still. Well, that's not, I mean, I thought the whole point is evangelization. We're trying to attract people, aren't we? Yeah. We understand that the human element impacts the divine. In fact, I specifically say only men who already have a faith strong enough to see beyond the underlying reality are the ones who are going. But we don't want to just attract those men. We want to attract the men who, they have some connection, they have some desire for deeper things. But their desire for deeper things, when they walk into a typical suburban Catholic parish, it's rejected, because like, this isn't deeper things. Felt banners isn't deeper things. But if they walk into, let's use the example of the Eastern Orthodox parish, that attracts men better. And they see I see the icons behind me, all these icons. They see this very beautiful and yet masculine liturgy.
Like, you know, I was listening to some Eastern Orthodox chants the other night, and in my library, and Joy came in. She's like, "What is this, Lord of the Rings? What is this?" I said, "No, this is Byzantine chant." Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you hear Marty Haugen songs when you go to the Catholic parish, which is to make any red-blooded male run for the door. Yeah, and it's like trying to act like these things don't matter. You're just going against human nature. God made us this way. God made men different from women.
Well, let's say something here. There are certain kinds of men who are attracted to the Marty Haugen.
Yes.
They're called Jesuits. They love this stuff.
Yeah, and the problem is that, and this is just
jazz hands.
Yeah, being frank, a lot of priests give off a very emasculating image as well. That is not attractive to a man. Is not attracted to that and say, this is a guy I want to go hang out and have a beer with. And so that is a problem as well. And that's why you love seeing these young priests who come in who are so masculine and are great. I mean, there's such a breath of fresh air. But so the point is, if here's the logic.
And by the way, we're not saying like this is Arnold Schwarzenegger in a chasuble. That's not what we're talking about. The guy doesn't even, he doesn't have to come off as Clint Eastwood in the pulpit. We're just talking about a man who is confident, not soft, has a certain rigor to himself. I think that's, there's a willingness to sacrifice within strength. And that's basically what masculinity is. That's who Christ is as our Redeemer. He is strong, but he's willing to sacrifice to save others. And that right there is what we're looking for, not the softness who, bends the neck every time the 8 matriarchs of the church say, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
And then he's like, okay.
And that's a great point, because that's another criticism is when we start talking about masculinity, there is a truly actually toxic form of masculinity out there. That's not a Catholic one. But what's happened is that the feminists have called every form of masculinity toxic.
Yeah.
Just being a man is now toxic. And that's infected the church in a great manner. And you see that. And I think the great example is the pastor who allows a couple old ladies to run the parish, and everything they want, they get. Susan from, the parish council.
Right.
That's what happens. And that's not masculine. The priest doesn't have to go hunt or anything. He just needs to be a man.
Yeah.
And it should be something that would be in common sense, 50, 100 years ago, isn't so common anymore.
He needs to be able to tell Susan of the parish council, no.
We try to find all these new models, like, oh, we're going to try this, and we're going to have these studies that show whether or not it work. Well, just look at history. You read history. This is the proven model the church has always used with success. So let's just use that. The old evangelization, let's just go back to that.
And just to throw in here, what was Satan's model?
He went to
target the woman.
Yeah.
But the divine model that we see in the Old Testament and New Testament is target the man.
There's actually a beautiful part about that with Adam and Eve is if you read the passages there, Adam is there.
Yeah, he's present.
He's present.
He's
deadbeat
husband.
He's a deadbeat husband. He's not doing his job of protecting and leading the woman. And that is the inversion of nature that causes the fall. And we're trying to repeat it now. We're trying to repeat that, allowing the dad to just be a deadbeat, just kind of stand over the side while the mom does everything.
And expect the mom to fight the dragon.
Right. And we're saying, there's the dragon, go take her
Dad
on.
watches football, watches porn. Mom fights the dragon. Yeah, that's going to work. Not.